I have a very special guest. I have none other than Mark Marshall from Lawn Stripes and Hedges.
How are we doing?
We're good, mate. We're good. Mark, massive thank you for coming in today to have a chat with me.
No, I appreciate it, mate.
Let's talk, mate.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's talk about you. So, mate, obviously your journey, your platforms are huge.
Yeah.
You just told me off camera that you're now full-time on social media. The projects you're doing in terms of the YouTube work you're doing are absolutely incredible, working with people, giving people free gardens.
Yeah.
So I want to find out all about that, but I also want to find out how you got there, where it started, how it began.
So with starting social media and losing my best mate to suicide, I needed something for my brain to focus on, because if it doesn't focus on something like a goal, I literally get in the most darkest points ever. Like, I can be like what everyone to the face of it thinks he's the most happiest guy in the world. And inside I'm eating myself alive thinking there isn't a future. I can't see myself in 10 years. That's why I've always got to have a goal. And when Danny died, I could feel the darkness coming over me. I could feel it like a cloak. And I was like, I've got to focus on something.
Can you explain that one a little bit, mate? I don't mean to push on a painful subject either, but when did this happen? And
2 years ago.
And that was the start of your social media?
Yeah, so there was like a lot of different reasons why I started social media. There was like a customer complained that we blocked a grid up. So I was like, well, I'm going to start recording stuff. So that was one of the reasons why. Then also I wanted to show the customer what they got from us as Lawn Stripes and Hedges from a kind of, I used to just send them the edited kind of videos that we'd done.
Okay.
I'd put before and after pictures on social media. I'd always done that in like the 6 years I've done landscaping as a business. But then when I lost Danny, I lost my little brother lost his dad, which I classed as a dad. At the same time, then my nana went. So that in all that kind of period, my brain was like, you need a goal, you need a goal. So then I was just like watching motivational videos. That's where I come across Gary V.
Okay.
And Gary V was like, social media, social media, social media. That was a great action. I bet you thought he was sat here then, didn't you?
Absolutely, mate. I was taken away for a minute.
So I was like, do you know what? I'm going to start putting the videos that I've created. I'm just going to put them on social media. And then to kind of mask not thinking about Danny, I just dived everything into social media. That was in 2021. We started bits at the end of 2021, so like November 2021. And then we went on holiday January 2022 to Mexico. And in the 3 months I'd really pushed social media, someone recognized me. I was like, are you the guy that does the lawns, the mowers? Because I used to do loads with Alec mowers.
The first time you ever got recognized?
Yeah, that was the first time, yeah. And I was like, then your ADHD starts going and you start thinking, And then I said to my missus, for the next 12 months, I'm going to go back and we're going to give this social media everything. I don't think she realised how much everything meant. Like every minute I got in from work, I'd quote, come back, edit, post, social media, comments, inboxing, in the bath again. And it was like a repeat cycle for a full year. And then we started to grow and grow and grow and grow. But then more things come on top of you, like brand deals and loads of other commitments start coming on, and you meet people, and then your time gets stretched and stretched and stretched further. And then that's when, beginning of this year, I was like, I can't. What actually made me think was I was in a meeting with Makita to sign with Makita, and there was so many people around the room, and there was like, what do you do as a job? What do you do as a job? And when it got round to me, I was like, I do all their job in one person.
Yeah.
And there was like 5 or 6 of them. I thought, I've got to expand, otherwise I'm going to burn myself out.
Yeah.
So that's when I took my first member of staff on.
It's a big jump, isn't it?
My driving force is making people happy. Hence why we got into the free gardens. But a lot of landscapers, don't get me wrong, I've got a lot of landscapers that do love me and do follow me. And I've just done Futurescape, and I think my cameraman said we took over 150 pictures with people. Considering I went to an event a year before and had one picture, it's a bit of a leap in 12 months. And a lot of landscapers come up saying that you're a big inspiration. And for me, there's certain landscapers in my area, and I just think, how have you done that? Like, they are incredible. Justin's just won an award, JGH, and Els Tisson in English. For me, they're of my generation. They're the ones to look up to. But I've said that to them, and they say, "Oh no, I'm not." They're the people, because everyone has their own idols. Like for me, an idol, Eminem and Lewis Hamilton.
You look into the social media world in construction, you see the names,
Yeah.
you, the home improvement lads, Kev, you know, the people with the big followings, the
Yeah.
big accounts, and you look up and you go, how did that happen? How can I get there? And you don't really ever imagine that you'll be rubbing shoulders.
Oh yeah, I would never think I was in some of the things I've done this year. I stopped putting a lot of it on social media because people think there's a thingy with social media, like an idea that, you know, if you've got all these followers, that you're a glitz and glam, that you're something that you're not. And I always bang on to people, I am just a normal guy. Like, I'm going to these places for no other reason than I've worked 18 hours a day. Woke up in the middle of the night worrying about what my content's going to be. Jack, my social media manager, I've got 8 in my social media team now, but Jack, he was my first employee, he manages my socials where I ain't got the time to do it. Like if I'm here and he's doing something, You've
got 8 2 years in, and now 8. I mean, that's a company, that's a business.
Oh yeah, it's me. I've set up as media marshal. Yeah.
8 people working for you in social media. Like, mate, that's commendable.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
There's no I think so. Yeah, like, that's fucking incredible.
I don't think of it like that. I just think of if I'm earning money from social media, I put everything back into it, literally every penny. When people see me with, you know, a new watch or something, that'll be from Lawn Stripes and Hedges, from the separate company. Social media is media marshal. One thing Gary said to me, which I said off camera, when I said, like, I feel like I'm not growing, or I'm just stagnant, like I'd been stuck on like 2 million followers for such a long time, 3 months. That's kind of what in my head. I'm thinking I'm not really growing. Like I'm growing like 500 followers a day. It's rubbish because of the big spikes we've had where we gain 10,000 followers in a day.
Where do those spikes come from?
The videos. So
so just the video will hit really well, and
video will hit really well. Yeah, but you again, you learn so much from content, and for me, I've always been about, if one video does really well and one does really bad, why? Keep asking yourself why. So look at the data, put the videos side by side. Well, this one had a retention rate of 20 seconds. This one had 10 seconds. What happens in 10 seconds? What happens in 20 seconds? How can you make that 10 go to 20? So like you're constantly editing in my mind, this will be boring for people to watch, or make it quicker. I'll chop this down. The music's really emotional, so I'm going to slow it down to match. So it becomes a piece of art rather than just banging up a piece of content. But the amount of people that say, like, you're lucky because you've got all them followers, like they don't understand what work I've put into it. And and when I meet him at events, and I'll just say, yeah, you know, and I'll kind of just pass it off, because like Mr. Beast says, make 100 videos and come back to me. That's important, because you've got, what he's saying by that is live through your troubles. Once you then get stuck, then come back to me. But you'll normally get to 100 videos and you'll understand why you've not performed. But then if you're not understanding why, you're not asking the right questions. You think people keep going on about algorithms. So people will say, how do I make the algorithm work? How do I make the algorithm share my videos? Replace algorithm with audience and it'll change your whole perception. What does the audience want to see? So what's your content about? Your content is about painting. So what if someone's watching your audience for painting, what do they want to see? So the first thing is, I need to decorate my room. What do I do? What do you do? What do you do at stage 1? So then you're like, today we're going to decorate this room. Let's strip it back. So how we strip it back is we take the thingy off. This is always a nightmare. Steamer, talking through the stages. And that's all I've done is I want to do my garden, but I don't know where to start. The first hardest bit is starting. Because once you started, you're off. Just keep going. Every day, just keep going. So stage 1, what do you need to do? Well, what do you want? So what do you want from your garden? You want an area to entertain. Most people want a bar nowadays. Most people want a nice lawn. So then you look at, okay, well, where does the sun go in your garden? So just keep asking yourselves them same questions and then create your content around that matter. And then you've cracked it, no matter what field you work in.
It's consistency, mate, as well, isn't it? With
Yeah,
social media, you've got to keep going, keep going, keep
yeah.
going.
I just nearly quit on YouTube.
Really?
Yeah, I just nearly quit. I was like, do you know what? I've had enough. Like, not posting anymore. And then I got invited to a YouTube party, and it kind of kicked me on a little bit.
What,
And
you want 265,000 subscribers
yeah,
or something?
I think so. Yeah, yeah. I've actually, yeah. I was saying to the woman who's like the head of YouTube UK, I said I've had enough, and she's like, why? I said, well, I'll post a video on Instagram. It gets 50 million views. I post it on YouTube, and it gets 10,000 views.
Mm.
But every platform's different in it. You have to tweak it to each platform. But sometimes you spit your dummy out because of all the time and effort you put in. So each project now costs me around about £10,000. Me.
Yeah.
So I have to make it work.
Yeah.
It's flat. It's fight, flight, or fly for me. Is that what it says?
Yeah, mate, you're invested.
I literally, if I go anywhere in public now and there's a group of somewhat people our age, between 20 and 50, I'll get recognised. But I've done social media for 2 years. Last year, I probably didn't. Only people recognise me because I was the channel. Oh, you're Launch Rats and Hedges, because they might see a bit of my face.
Yeah.
So now I'm becoming more recognised from slowing the content down, making it more personal, making it about what I actually want the content to be about. Is I want people to laugh, be amazed, cry, sadness, bring emotion back from a loved one. I want people to get emotion from it because that's what I get from doing the garden. What there's a facade with social media if you've got a big number, you think that you're famous, but what is the content about? So if it's an ASMR, I noticed when we was getting brands offering us money for a video, it's a lot more now, and it's me on camera talking about stuff because you become the value, you're the content. So if I say I'm going knocking on this person's door, people now know me as, well, they will start to know me as the guy that knocked on and surprises and transforms gardens. It's me that's the content. Whereas if it's just an ASMR about me cutting a hole in a piece of brick, 9 times out of 10 you would have seen that video, but you don't know it's me.
Yeah.
So for me, I learned that pretty early on this year. I was like, we need to start swapping my content to be more me.
So you want it more personal?
Yeah, because it affects you more. Because if I for instance, we put an email saying, look, if you want your garden done, drop us a message. We had 4,000 emails to say, love Mark content, I watched it from the start, love how he's becoming. But if I was to do an event and say, look, I'm going to be at this event like I did with Futurescape, and I said, I'm going to be at Futurescape, hundreds and hundreds of people come to see me because they want to see me, not me cut a piece of stone and it's just an ASMR. So what that does then, it gives me more value, which means I can put more money back into my audience. But for me, when I make the long form content, I make it like a short form, really engaging, really quick, like from studying your data after a video's gone live, and you think, why is that dropped? Like, it tells you, if you go on your analytics, it tells you why it's dropped. There's an interview for 15 minutes about resin.
Yeah.
No one's going to want to listen to that. So they'll turn it off. So let's get rid of that. And so now my videos this one is like, we've just traveled to Manchester to landscape a garden for free. Let's go. Bang, straight into the video. Then we do a little Top Gear style, like what's gone in what's coming up in the video. And then bang, straight into the video. Quick, all the way through it. Like a little bit Mr. Beastie. But then I think we still got a little bit of learning and stuff to go. But what I say to my agent, you've got to be confident in yourself. And I've always been confident in kind of what I put my energy into. And I've said to him, in the next couple of years, we're going to be in the name of the biggest creators in the UK. Not in my niche, not landscaping.
Just in general.
In general, I want to be up there with the Sidemen. And then people think, well, yeah, you'll not do that because of this, that, and the other. Like, that, no one's doing what I do, that we're doing. And if I can do it and do more people's gardens and put more smiles on more faces and make more people happy, why not go for it? Why not give it everything?
I love the fact that what you do, mate, as well, it's happy, positive content. It's not controversial.
No.
It's not like rage baiting. It's not anything that's designed to get engagement through provoking negative emotions.
Yeah.
Like, what you do is like feel good. You know
well,
what I mean?
I think that's what's going to give it sustainability. Because for me, we don't. I mean, we swear, but we bleep everything out in the YouTube. We keep it family friendly, because if you're sitting there with your mum watching it, or your mum's watching it on YouTube, they've probably seen me on social media. When I set out, when I was in Mexico 2 years ago with my missus, I said I'm going to get to 1 million followers on social media. For me, it was about, back then, it was about the number. It wasn't about making.
Where are you at now, out of interest, followers?
2.8 million, I think.
2.8, you think? You know exactly.
2.855. No, I've actually, over the last couple of months, I've tried to stop looking at it. I've tried to stop looking at the number.
So what are your main platforms? Obviously, you've got YouTube, Instagram,
so
Facebook, TikTok.
Yeah, we do them all. My main goal is to make it work on YouTube, because we did 175 million last month. If we did that on YouTube, we would have made about 4 or 5 million quid.
So is that what it is? Because again, mate, just to speak candidly, really, so YouTube pay the best?
Long form, yeah. I think it's because of my niche on what. So we post safe content. So there's no, like you said, it's feel good factor. So our CPM's quite high. I think we've had up to 28 quid for every 1,000 views. So we did a video that did 200,000. I think it did like 2 grand in revenue. So then that we put that straight back in. But when you tell people that you're getting 10,000 a video, 20,000, 30,000 a video, they think, wow, you've really made it. But then the backside of that, with 8 staff, an editing suite, all the stuff that you have to buy.
I can't. I mean, 8 staff, mate, on today's wages. I can't imagine what your.
Oh yeah.
Well, I can imagine. I can imagine what your monthly wage bill is.
Yeah, that's my biggest asset, because I own everything else. I've built the money up on social media. I've put it all back into buying all the computers and the cameras and all the additional bits that we need. Oh yeah, there is.
I'd love to see it though. I mean, listen, 2 years in, I remember studying business a while ago, and it's common knowledge that most new businesses don't make a penny in their first 2 years. You're still in like launch phase.
Oh, 100%,
that's the thing.
Yeah. But for me, my missus says it like, I've got a bit of money in the bank, but for me, although yes, my intentions is to be rich one day. When I say rich, I don't mean money rich. I mean being able to go. I mean, this, you do need money for it, but being able. My dream is one day to say, "Do you want to go to Monaco and watch the F1 this weekend?"
Freedom, mate.
Freedom to do whatever we want. That's not going to determine what I do. I'm always going to do what some sort of giving and giving back, because that's now my nature. My nature is to make people feel good.
Mate, listen, if you can do something you love, help other people, and make a shit ton of money at the same time, to me, that is like life's jackpot.
So for me, like, I'm constantly going to move forward. I'm constantly going to get it. But I say every single time, this is the best garden I've ever done. Like I said, this is the best program. And I know the next one I'm going to say the same thing, because we're constantly trying to get better until we get the formula and it goes, that long video does millions of views. I'm thinking, if we make £1 million off a video, what can I do with £1 million? And I've said the first video, every single bit of money that makes is going in the next garden. Yes, I've got a team around me now and we're getting better at making videos, but it all started from a mobile phone.
Started with one video, mate. Journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step.
It literally
does. I mean? So you got to get started. But, mate, not that everyone probably knows exactly where to find you, but just in case they don't, in case anyone's listening that this is the first time they've seen you, where do people find you and your content?
Just literally just put Mark Marshall in your search thing. I should pop up. If not, I think it's still Lawn Stripes and Hedges on Facebook, which is obviously the baby that started everything. But yeah, Mark Marshall or Lawn Stripes and Hedges.
Go over to YouTube, subscribe to Mark's channel if you don't already. Mark, it's been a pleasure.
Love you. Bye.